Now, shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
And here we go.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Friday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is September 26th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing wonderful. What a wonderful day out at the Ryder Cup. I mean, a long day, but a great day. Ryder Cup is fun.
It's Ryder Cup is fun. Agree. Full
That's
day.
my take.
Left at about left here about 5 a.m. Not as early as some. There seems to be like a thirst bucket challenge for like how early can you get there and send a screenshot of like a timestamp shot. But I don't know. We left here early. We not as early as others. And just wrapping up. 6:18 local time. Rory McIlroy just missed a putt to, I don't know if we want to say steal, but just add to the margin. The European margin of day one, with the Americans crowded around the room, around the green, looking like someone was about to basically like execute their dog. As Rory stood over, they looked very tense, like, "Oh my God, is this happening again?" They get a 6-2 first day.
If you listen closely on the 18th fairway, you might have heard a quiet little meow right after Cantlay hit his approach shot.
That is so not fair for all the kitty cat performances by the Americans. Cantlay was legitimate to use McGinley's favorite phrase of the last hour. They stood up to the moment. They stood in the moment. They met the moment. What was it? Standing in the moment.
I found his breed. He's a Singapura.
That is
the
not
smallest
fair.
Cat breed in the world.
Cantlay was with a few players with some pride.
The sweet and shy kitty may become aggressive if they feel threatened. He got aggressive for a little bit, and then he gave a little meow at the end.
KVV's not here tonight. We're getting into cats. I mean, come on. I guess the bar, the sliding scale, grading on the curve here is low, but Cantlay wasn't. Cantlay was
great
today compared to his teammates. He had to slip up on the par 3 of the 14th. That wasn't great. But
he's the only player on the U.S. team that can claim I guess Xander too, an undefeated record today.
Xander, yeah. Xander, this big sample size of one match played.
I guess Sam Burns is undefeated too because he got a half point.
The deputy was engaging in deputy behaviors. He's not asserting law. He was more just kind of walking around policing.
I think he would have been in line for a promotion if he had made that putt on 18.
All right, we've got cat analogies, we've got policing analogies here early on. How is the day overall? I mean, with the Europe, is it over? Europe's up 5.5, 2.5, with a pretty dominant. What's that? Oh, with a pretty dominant 3-1 morning. And you would say, if you're Luke Donald, that was about as optimized a session as you could get, right? It was optimal. And we are lucky to be here on behalf of Optum. Maybe not spelled a little different. World's leading healthcare company. We were hanging out with the Optum boys a little bit today. Over 16. There were no matches that got there until late in the day.
That corporate hospitality setup got jammed in the morning because only one match made it to 16. They got all the big partners over there, and they got a little jammed.
I mean, the build-out's immense, but yeah, you didn't get much action this morning. Optum's over there. They're a leading information and technology-enabled health services business dedicated to helping make the health system work better for everyone. They're a proud partner of the players, and Rory McIlroy is an Optum Health ambassador. Rory had a pretty solid day. Very solid day.
Very solid day.
Solid day.
He had a couple shorties, that I'm sure he's going to kick himself about in the afternoon session that would have, kind of ended that match a little earlier. But, of course, Cantlay missed a shorty on 14 as well. So, kind of evened out there. But, Yeah, he had a good day. He
did.
had a banner day. Him and Fleetwood and alt shot was scintillating.
Yeah, Fleetwood
Where-
just can't lose. So
Where do you want to start?
go to
Do you wanna-
Optum.com to learn more about Rory, healthcare, all your needs. Go to Optum.com. Where do you want to start? Law and Order just came on USA.
It's incredible.
Like 12 dead women or
They
something.
they bookended it. They started the day with SVU.
Who's watching
Come
SVU
right-
at 6 a.m.? 6 old.
I'll tell you what, somebody that fell asleep watching something on USA and that it comes on, this is God, depressing way to start the day.
Who's your MVP of the day? Would it be a European? Who
I
most
think it's got to
impressed
be
you?
Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay.
Or John Rahm.
I would
John
say Rahm.
Rahm
Again, we're picking nits here, but those are two. Probably the two.
Rahm, I would say Rahm just for the performance in the afternoon, him just pouring putts. Like, just honestly taking it to Scotty Scheffler. I got to wonder, did something happen to Scotty's jurisdiction since President Trump came? Did it, him?
It was like a federalism issue.
Yeah, he overruled them, and the U.S. Marshals came in, and Scotty couldn't make the arrests anymore. Did they take the case away from him?
It became a federal issue, not a state.
It became a federal investigation,
that's
and
sure.
they took the local
Overruled.
jurisdiction away from Scotty. But Rahm, I think I think I'd go with Rahm just in terms of they came out really really bad early in the day, and thankfully for the Q storyline one, Keegan's plan went perfectly. He set his lineup optimally to win the first hole of the Ryder Cup.
Yes.
They got Bryson out there to blast a drive up short, and they got JT to chip it up fairly close. It was pretty mediocre chip.
Bad chip, not mediocre. All right, fine.
Mediocre
Mediocre's
chip.
fine. It's just
Very
a little
mediocre
runner that's very
chip.
scruffy.
But you wanted that wedge play with Bryson. They got the birdie. They win the first hole, and that's the only hole they win on the match.
Rahm and Hatton gave them 7 holes of runway.
Yes.
They were bad. They were not. They're like, look, we were bad. 7 holes. Match didn't even get to 16. We with that 7-hole heads, and JT Bryson did nothing, but they did get their first hole win. They got their photo up.
And Keegan's plan went perfectly. They got red on the board right out of the gate. So
win the first hole. Never mind the other 17, 15, however many there may be.
Don't mind the other 17 with that pairing. It was optimized for hole one. But John Rahm, I think in the afternoon, some of the putts that he made that
incredible.
just didn't give Scotty and Scotty a chance.
Yep.
Really when it seemed like Scotty started to run downhill at the end there.
And Spawn was playing well as well with Scotty there.
Seems like a guy that maybe would have been useful earlier in the day.
Yeah. I mean, it was, he kind of came on top of him, right? As soon as Scotty it was 15, top of the hill, right?
Yeah.
Scotty makes the bomb, like, oh, we're here. Then for, I don't know, 90 seconds, we thought we had it. Rob right over the top of him. It was incredible. I think you saw him kind of find his groove, whereas Bryson, I don't know if he thinks his teammates are Crusher's material based on the way things went. Whereas Rob just, Legion 13, whether it's Turrell or the Tank stepped up when he was bad for a good bit, as by his own admission, but stepped up with some big putts and birdies towards the end to help Rahm out. Rob, I think for me, like you talk about this, I think there are 3 clear, I don't know if they're the best players in the world, leaders for Europe. It's Rory, Rahm, and Fleetwood in this particular competition, right? Ludwig.
Justin Rose.
Yes, Ludwig. Those 4 were the guys who played double sessions, right? And they're considered the 4 horses. Ludwig, I don't think is on the level of the first 3 right now. But, and what you saw from them was, besides a few missed shorties from Rory, pretty much like no flaws, right? No let up. And like what you saw on the other side of the equation was Scotty kind of searching. Right, Bryson. I think it's hard for me to fault Bryson too.
Honestly, I thought he played pretty well. I think he drew he drew a partner that should never have been playing alternate shot. He's a complete liability in that format, and like this folklore of him being this Ryder Cup hero, it has not come to fruition for the last couple editions. I left today really contemplating. Do you think that that Bryson's longing for Charles Howell III, his Crusher's teammate,
proper Crusher,
that would be eligible for
not
for
Bond,
this, yeah,
not Paul Casey.
yeah, can't get those two.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think I can fault Bryson. He felt like the only person who got the crowd going at all early on. Only guy really stepping up and hitting a lot of the shots in the morning. Sort of dragging Benny Booms when Benny busts this afternoon, like dragging his carcass pretty much for I'd say 16 of the holes that they played. It's hard for me to fault Bryson. He was fun to cheer for. I was thinking late, like all these guys that might like kind of drive you a little nuts individually, like Cantlay, Bryson, like
Justin Rose on the other side could drive somebody nuts, I think.
Really have excelled in this, and like that's probably a lineage of the America. We get so wrapped up in buddy ball and good locker room guys and all this stuff, but over the course of history, it could be red asses that have been our best players. And
Patrick Reed?
Yes, Patrick Reed was one I was thinking of. Zinger was probably a guy who rubbed people the wrong way. He had his friends on tour for sure, but it's I don't know. We've gotten so caught up in just like cohesion and close team that the best guys are maybe guys you kind of like aren't rooting on to win individual tournaments.
Who would you say was the LVP today?
Look, I think we really overinflate the captain stuff, right? You got to hit shots. Guys got to play. Scotty didn't play well, like his best. That said, I think it's Keegan. And he's not at Zach levels. They're not like floundering and flopping around. But the morning lineup, the morning strategy was kind of, you're starting from behind, I thought. They weren't starting optimal or optimized. Guys got to hit the shots. I'm not putting it all at his feet. But we knew the Morikawa thing was going to be dicey. We knew it was like we're playing no rookies. I don't want any rookies to lead off the Ryder Cup. Like that's just a fallacy at this point, and it affects different people at different times. So what you do is you put in alt shot. What you say is like the zero margin, much less margin for error, right? Razor thin. You're putting JT, who's been struggling, was a disaster. Colin Morikawa, iffy, pretty iffy. I mean, it's hard to even judge him at times, right? Because it was, they're 4 down, when you opened your eyes. And the
other thing about Morikawa was he was constantly hitting tee shots on on draw holes with a fade.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you had Russ Henley, who draws the ball, who's hitting tee shots on fade holes.
Well, that's part of like
with
where
Scotty Scheffler.
I'm laying this with Keegan is like when Henley stepped up. So you had Morikawa in English. Like when they announced that last night, they're like, "Woof." That's like a combo that's an interesting one, and anything can happen, quote unquote. But what we thought might happen they got boat raced, and that's a point. That's a point. It's not like let's get the experience out there first. Like the points matter, and the first session matters. And along with that, like you said with Russell Henley. When he stepped up to the first tee, they let Bryson go first in the first match. Like, all right, that makes sense. We thought that would happen. You can use him on 9, use him here on 1, and he performed on 1. He delivered. Then they let Henley go first in the second match, and like Europe apparently, like all their jaws dropped when it happened. Like, whoa, what? Yeah, Henley's hitting the odds.
I spoke with someone, that was intimate with it. They were shocked.
Yep. Smiley on the broadcast, like, I can tell you everyone in Europe was like, whoa, Henley? Really? Because, whatever, the first hole, he's hitting it just to the corner there. Then you have, like, all these fade odd holes. You're also then taking, like, Scotty, the best lawn iron player in the world, taking lawn irons out of his hand when Henley's driving on the evens.
Well, I think, I know that this pairing became a darling for
P Cup and
for President's Cup, and but here's the issue with the Henley Scheffler pairing, and why I think I would like Spawn a lot more than Henley is when you did that matchup, they had Ludwig hitting tee shots, and he's hitting it 30 past Henley. And
Fitzy.
Guess what? Like, Fitzy is a good iron player. Like, if he's playing from within 10 yards of Scotty Scheffler, he's nowhere near as good as Scotty Scheffler.
He's playing like 2 clubs.
But if he's hitting 3 clubs less than Scotty Scheffler, he might be better than Scotty Scheffler. So the only way you can make Scotty Scheffler human in comparison to these guys is to have him play 30 yards behind the guys.
Now,
and I don't want to, like, this is easy to do Monday morning quarterback, and it would, but like,
no.
This is the problem with the Henley pairing for him, is that he's left forever into these greens.
Yep.
Forever.
That
in comparison to every other player in the field, because Henley hits it nowhere.
Yep. That, like,
and the rough isn't a factor. So Henley's accuracy doesn't matter, and the U.S. has actually more accurate players. And they've set this golf course up
separate. We'll get
so
to
that accuracy doesn't matter.
It's easier than a PGA Tour. I was reading the data golf. It's comping out easier than a baseline PGA Tour course right now. So sample size smaller, all that. But again, it's hard to Monday morning quarterback. The player's got to play. The shot, Henley was bad. He was bad. Scotty wasn't good either. I think people like kind of let Scotty off the hook in the morning, and be like, oh, they paired him with like ball and chain and Henley, and then Scotty continued to be not good in the afternoon with Spawn playing well. So like, I don't want to, like, you still have to hit the shots, but letting Henley hit on one was like a black and white mistake. I'm sorry, that's not a subjective Monday hindsight thing. That was just a black and white choice.
Putting Justin Thomas in alternate shot, black and white mistake.
I think Morikawa English, like just a mismatched pairing.
Data golf. I was really banking on them winning that.
You were. You got into a heated thing with Joseph at dinner last night. Speed was the subject. We won't get into that. But that match 3.
To me, one of those 2 matches where there was so heavily favored was going to go the other way, and it turned out to be the Scheffler-Henley match.
Yeah.
I may have coerced PJ into making a $5 parlay that both of them would go the other way.
We have a good storyline no one's watching about Morikawa. Roadblock. Will Colin Morikawa make it back across the road? Which means will he get to the 15th tee? He didn't today. I mean, it didn't look like if we were getting Stephen Ames territory with that match. You were out there following them.
I left very early. I left after 9.
Where'd you go?
I went over to the Bryson match.
Okay.
Because you know what my favorite moment? I was streaming the golf while I was watching in person. I had a real good setup going this morning. My favorite moment of the telecast this morning was the Faldo and Noda booth is like actually incredible because it's so bad it's good. But like, these 2 guys are on there. Faldo's clearly not watched any golf in the last year.
Can I just make a comp? It's like Monday Night Football. Like, we're going to bring in like Mark Schlereth.
Like Kirk Herbstreit.
Mark Schlereth, Stink Schlereth, and talk about the hog mollies or something. Like, but putting him on like Sunday Night Football. Like, this is every 2 years biggest deal.
It's like if you're a fan of like the Jags Titans and you get that Sunday early game, you just get the worst announcer booth in the world. And that is what we had for the Friday morning of the Ryder Cup. And tomorrow morning, we're going to get it again. But my favorite moment, Scotty's on the tee on 8, which is an insane hole. I mean, it's 100. This morning, it was 192 yards. It plays down significantly. The green is tiny. There's water short. It's like a very hard par 3. And Noda noticed it, and this is 30 seconds before Scotty's hit. And Noda's like, I'll tell you what, I bet a lot that this is going to be inside 10 feet.
Didn't it almost barely cover?
And Faldo, which was amusing, was like, whoa, inside 10 feet. This is 192 yards away. Yeah. And then the shot barely gets over the water. I mean,
while we're on this subject, apparently Faldo was like startled and shocked they were taking driver off the first tee. Yeah. Like, what? What? Have you been here all week? Have you watched the tour of at all in the last 4 years? They're sending it. They've literally been hitting driver the entire week.
I've seen a lot of angst about the telecast, and I get the commercial load, but from the broadcaster, I would say reframe if you're frustrated with the Noda and Faldo. Reframe and just be happy that this exists.
Yeah, love it.
Be joyous that we get this in our lives and view it as a comedy sketch.
Lean into all she wrote. I think we've hit enough. Look, on that match too with the Henley Shuffler, I just want to add for completeness sake. Like Ludwig and Fitz were very good too.
Yeah.
They were, I think, 7 under 30 on their own ball, like on an all-shot ball. They were 7 under through like the first 13 holes or something like that. They went out in 30. They were very good, but Henley and Scotty were not.
You could, Rom, obviously, I think the morning MVP would have been Fitz. Because he was nails.
He was great.
And I think a lot of people were like, oh, look, they're sending out a sacrificial lamb against Scotty.
Yep.
Why is Fitz playing? He's 1-7. And he went out there from the first shot he hit, that pitch shot on one, and he was just awesome.
Yep. I think we're focusing a bit on the morning. Do you have anything else to add on the first match, like the JT? Do you want to go in on JT at all anymore? He was the worst player in the morning by a lot of statistical measures.
He got his win in the afternoon though, and we can cue a storyline graphic here. Storylines that nobody is talking about. Justin Thomas plays cheerleader, and Young's big win. So bring it on. JT out there.
Cameron Young was balling.
Yeah.
JT played well. Much better the afternoon.
Much better.
Too, but you can't put him in all shot.
He's just not consistent enough tee to green to put in. And I think he's a good 4-ball player because he makes plays.
Yep.
He just doesn't make the plays all the time. And that's where, if you look at what the Euros are doing, they put their freaking machines out there in all shot. All the guys that play, it's going to be the same 8 guys, I would guess, tomorrow. And those guys are their steadiest players.
I mean, statistically, I think, or whatever, analytically, I think their 4 weakest guys didn't play until this afternoon.
Yeah.
Rose, however you want to, I think there's a subjective element that needs to come in with the stats there that I don't know if he's the weakest, but they put their 4 weakest guys out this afternoon and went strength on strength, this morning.
And that's the thing. You can afford to play a weaker guy in 4-ball because you don't need him to. Every shot isn't life or death. The way you have to play the match play is these holes are effectively like life or death.
Yep.
And in alt shot, every shot has such a huge value to it that you can't put these liabilities out there.
Yep. One of my favorite tweets about Twitter was back in a little bit today. I don't know. I want to say it's back at all, but it's just a little bit about the first match was from Tweet Mitchell. Cool that they sent Bryson out with a 10 handicap. Make-A-Wish kid. The Ryder Cup keeps innovating, which is some real, that's too sharp.
Disrespectful.
Pretty sharp. Well, he was not playing well. He was not playing well, JT. He stepped up in the afternoon. Is Scotty... I got simultaneously at about, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Scotty can't play foursomes, it seems like. I'm not saying it's him or where he set up or what happened, but we're talking about the 9 and 7 disaster.
Hit the button.
Dun, dun. We got Law and Order in the background. He was the 9 and 7 disaster. This morning was uncompetitive. I don't think that was ever in doubt. He lost, I think it was 3 and 2. The other foursomes, he's not won a foursomes match. He's not been particularly close in a foursomes match. He didn't play foursomes at Whistling when they won.
Do you think it's because he can't control everything? Is Scotty a control freak? And when he loses,
there you go.
It all lines up. It's the one format where he loses control because he literally can't hit every shot.
He cedes half the shots or, close to half the shots to someone else. It's an interesting dynamic. Uncompetitive, not close. I got simultaneously texted about 4 o'clock this afternoon people in and around the game, saying, is Scotty a mule when it comes to Ryder Cup? Does he turn into a mule? Another one said, is he a jag, just a guy when it comes to the Ryder Cup? Well, I think it's a primary storyline after day one. He didn't play well.
Or you could say he's Tiger-esque.
He's very tight. There you go. Continue. Is the closest thing we've seen to Tiger since Tiger.
Tiger was constantly letting us down in Ryder Cups also.
Number one horse, undisputed number one player in the world.
Impossible to play with. Maybe Henley just played like crap because he was like, oh my God, I have to play with Scotty Scheffler, and he'd hit every one of these shots better than I'm going to hit it today.
Keeping the Tiger-like comps narrative alive. He was not great.
I gotta say though, I think that it's respect. It's such a respectful thing for Scotty and Bryson. Probably the two flag carriers for the U.S. team to honor New York's bagel tradition today. The Bagel Boys.
No halves, nothing, right?
Nothing.
Just 0, 0, 0, 0.
Four matches, 0 points. Bagel Boys are out. We'll see if they're going to break the bagels tomorrow.
Maybe get lineups here while we're still live here. It would be interesting to see. You send them back out, right? Those two have to play.
I think they have to play. I think Scotty, if you're Team Europe, like what you're a little worried about, Scotty got rolling. Cantlay played really well until he got out on the porch on 18 and saw the big world and had to go back in.
He was good. He's got to play tomorrow.
He's got to play. I mean, he's got to go all four. I think Xander, even what
Let's mix it up.
he showed, he's got to play both tomorrow.
Yep.
And I think Cam Young has to play both, and Spawn probably has to go out in the morning.
I don't know why they were scared to send Spawn out, and they just kind of almost sacrificed a point there.
I think
with
there's
not sending Spawn, Young, all these rookies, being scared of sending rookies.
Rasmus is going to be on the bench all day tomorrow, right?
Yeah. What about Benny Bus or Benny Boobs?
I think he's on the bench all day tomorrow.
Someone said that's the last drive he'll hit on 18. That's the last drive he'll hit until Sunday.
I love that. That was Eric Patterson.
Okay.
Eric Patterson. If you saw it, it was amazing. He's not short on confidence because he played like a dog most of the day. Obviously on 8 he hits it on that hill where I think that's PJ couldn't believe it because he's visited that hill a number of times on 8. And, he's
95 feet right or 100 yards right. It's unbelievable.
And despite playing pretty poorly all day, he just unleashes a massive club swirl on 18.
It wasn't a good drive down the middle.
And I enjoyed Eric Patterson suggesting that was the last time he'd be club twirling till Sunday.
Pretty good. Who's your LVP? Have we already hit it? Did we already touch on your LVP or MVP?
I think it's for multiple reasons, and we could get PJ in here. It hit the storyline. Russell Henley was drafted first in the shotgun start draft. This is the worst first pick since Jamarcus Russell. He might not even play tomorrow.
Jamarcus Russell Henley, number 1 overall.
Jamarcus Russell Henley is a bad look. I'll come sit.
Family is forever.
Family is forever, but Russell Henley is not. That was real bad. It was real bad. Just bunting it out there. Brendan, we're all on the first tee standing there together. He takes out the driver. Brendan just goes,
squares
out, and he still couldn't even hit the fairway.
Squared up for the sacrifice bunt.
I was up in the media section just doing hijinks.
I mean, it was amazing to see the lines that everybody was taking, and that his just didn't even flirt with the crease.
Collective gasp when he lined up just straight on. Everybody's going so far right. He's just completely right down the middle. It was not good for Jamarcus Russell Henley.
Does he get sat until Sunday?
No.
I think they're going to go back with Scotty. I think who Scotty should be playing with is Spawn.
Yeah.
I think Spawn and Scotty, Spawn hits it hard. He's Scotty might actually feel like he's playing his own ball that way if he's playing with Spawn, because Spawn hits a lot of shots pin high. Yep. Spawn's one of your best ball strikers. He has to play alternate shot.
I would agree. MVP, we hit Rom. Do you have an American MVP?
I mean, it's got to be.
Meow.
Meow.
Meow. Meow. That's how low the bar, the scale was, the curve. Not great. Any LVP on Europe?
It's
kind of tough.
I mean,
They
for me, Rasmus.
Well, that's just come on. He got like it's like one of those guys you bring off the bench to hit like one corner three. He missed it. Two corner
This
threes.
is my point. I think they knew he wasn't going to be a fixture, a big part of the team.
Yeah.
Don't even play him.
Sit him till Sunday.
Sit him. Just put him on the bench. I don't get this idea of like we have to play everybody the first day. If a guy stinks and you know he stinks,
They got zipped up by Cam.
just throw him out Sunday and maybe he gets you half a point or a point, but he doesn't cost you more than one.
Yeah, it's hard to choose an LVP. Shane wasn't great in the afternoon.
He was not.
Like they
Very
left
good.
all those Shane, Rasmus, Rose, and Sepp were kind of all like, what could they be? And you know they stepped up or hammed and egged it well enough with their kind of stronger anchors. Aside from the Aberg Højgaard was a mess.
I forgot about this storyline while we're talking about the Euros, but you brought up Sepp, and I think they established the run early and often in that early afternoon session. That had to be the most intimidating front line that's ever been put out in a Ryder Cup of Rahm, Sepp, and Dwayne Bach.
It's like the crowd has filed in Friday Night Lights. They're in their bleachers. The bus pulls into the north end zone. Some guys get off the bus first, and these parents who haven't watched the game tape are like, oh, that was Rahm and Sepp walking down off the tee. Intimidating.
They got they're like the same stature. It's kind of amazing when you see them bouncing off the greens together.
Yeah.
Because they're just two monster humans. I loved it. They were pulling guards, and they were just destroying the middle linebacker out of the hole, and they were just running the ball right up the middle all afternoon.
An occasional screen pass where they got out in space and just were wiping out corners and safeties. Yes, absolutely. Great. Established. They're big boys. And then you throw in the Dwayne Bach carrying the luggage. It's intimidating on the team.
I mean, and I got to say, Rahm's caddy is a big, aggressive boy, too.
Oh yeah, he's huge. He's big too.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's a big Adam.
What's his Adam Hayes?
Hayes, right?
Yeah.
So,
and he's
there you go.
aggressive.
So
He's aggressive.
Run the damn ball is the headline on
I don't think that team can lose. I don't think you can put them out there and they're gonna out physical anybody.
Come on.
The mere presence of them cannot be beat.
Yep. What else from the day? Any other notes on the play? I want to get the crowd and course. I think those are some highlights everybody wants to hear about. Is it over? Would you say it's over? 5.5, 2.5. Was it over this morning? 3-1. I don't think that's the case, but they dodged. I would say they dodged that's all she wrote with Rory on the last green, and you could tell, God, he was probably like relishing to scream all around the 18th fair grandstands, and I think that would have been all she wrote. There's still doors open slightly.
Yeah, I think the door's open.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's I think these teams are like very evenly matched, and if the U.S. has to go out and like just chip away, they got to win. They got to win tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, they're so in this match.
Get
right?
the singles. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like the thing is like Rory made so many putts today. In that first match, he made putts on 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, all the win holes. In there, and he hit the shot into 6. And then in that match, he missed 2 shorties, but the putts on 16 and 17 coming in were insanely good. And I think like if the U.S. if the Euros keep putting the way they putt, like if Rory putts that way, he's going to be really hard to beat in matches because he's making a lot of like of those kind of 8 to 15 foot putts. And I think that's like the kind of the takeaway I had is that the setup has yielded this into kind of a putting contest to a certain extent. I would like push back a little though on like how easy it is. If you drive it in the rough on some of the longer holes with the elevated greens out here, it's still much more challenging to hit shots from the rough.
We'll do course real quick. This is from Data Golf. We're looking at strokes gained versus baseline so far this week, and it looks like this is one of the easiest approach courses on record so far. That means that the players are hitting approach shots much closer and into better spots than at an average PGA Tour course. Now, it's a data analysis. There was this sort of more subjective argument that you've kind of neutered your best player's biggest strength by making it easier for a wider set of talents. That would be Scotty Scheffler, who I'm talking about.
I would say
you're playing ball in hand. I would add that ball in hand as well today. One ball rule, all that stuff.
I think the other thing with that is if they're taking data of a baseline, and I don't know all that they went into their data.
Yep.
But like this is an elite field. This is the 24 of the best players in the world.
Totally.
And it's match play, which allows you to be more aggressive with your approach shots, particularly in best ball. So you would assume if somebody's more aggressive, they're going to hit the ball closer, you know? So I think there's a lot of and it's a tiny sample size of one day, right?
The recanter, Lori Cantor, tweeted, "This golf course is boring in September." I don't know what he means by that. I think it just means the way they've set it up. It was so soft. I mean, we saw balls almost plug-in greens there, even late in the day.
Well,
they got rain.
This is what the PGA wanted. They wanted birdies. There's this whole premise, and it comes around every Ryder Cup of we don't need a good golf course because it's a match play event. And then they took a golf course that has some baseline interest and it has some really interesting features, and they have just completely wiped them from the existence of the course.
Yes. My favorite course-related nugget was the morning. Nobody got the hospitality. I tweeted the players, USA players, are going to have to do meet and greets with the various brands, Capgemini or whatever the hell they've got going on, BMW going on up there. Because this is what you hear about the Tour Championship. Well, when people say match play, we should go to match play, they're like, no, Southern Company or Coca-Cola or whatever. We're only going to have one match or two matches, whatever, however many quarters you want to put on the last day. And we were going to do all this build out. No one's going to get there. That's exactly what happened this morning. I'm not suggesting I'm crying for anybody over this, but it was amusing to me more than anything. It was hilarious. All these people just sitting around waiting.
Maybe your whipping boy PGA Tour Championship setup knows ball.
They might know ball.
Because at Medina, do you know where all the big corporate hospitalities on? What hole?
12, 11?
13, I think.
Okay. There you go. Maybe PGA Tour Champ Management
maybe they know something that you don't.
In the afternoon, when those matches did, and this is in the corporate stuff, that mixing bowl of 15 tee, 16 greens, 17 tee, like it was in 2019, got hot, got rowdy. I wouldn't say the U.S. really capitalized on it. We saw Burns make a putt at 17. 16 was kind of a lot of no blood on that, but that gets nasty down there. It sounds like they were having a run at Rory. Rory looked to be caught on video flipping off the crowd.
It looked like it.
I thought people were conclusive about it. Could have been a wave. I don't know.
Shane also caught flipping the bird.
Oh, really?
On a photo that has since come out.
Are you sure that they just weren't itching something?
Number one?
It doesn't look like.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. We don't.
They
could have just had their finger. They could have just been stretching their finger too.
I once caught my 10-year-old son Sean flipping the bird at my younger daughter, and he alleged he was scratching his face. It seems like you're trying to create some similar excuse to my 10-year-old Sean. But yes, they're riding Roy, but they didn't take advantage of it. They had the moments, matches to the back. Now some of them they were just stormy or trying to get one up coming down the stretch, but they did kind of have a crowd on their side there in that mixing bowl of 15 through 17 and didn't utilize it in any way. Do you think home crowd matters? See, that's all we were told.
I thought this crowd was pretty soft. I blame Long Island.
PJ doesn't like to hear that. This is not our negative.
They're unoriginal like
it's not a Long Island thing. I think it's just
American
fan base thing. It was bad at Whistling Straits. It was good at Hazeltine. This is not us being negative, not us holding a high standard. I talked to 2 friends who came as civilians, who came as fans. They're like, that wasn't like, I ran in here at 5 a.m. and I was like, is that just me? It wasn't what it was all cracked up to be. And then another texted us tonight, like, that was really tame. It's off-putting. They've got like forced music, then they don't.
Well, what about
Susie
Whaley was
on
telling people to be quiet.
What? I mean, God, I thought, how long is she going to hang on in some sort of ceremonial role?
Oh, man. You're going after Susie Whaley now.
Well, last time they were at Bethpage, she went and played National Golf Leagues in their most important week, PGA, their biggest revenue week. They were out on the other end of the island playing top 10 courses.
You know what all the Long Islanders are going to say?
What?
What PJ's already saying? They priced us out of it. So PJ's going
It's a Ranger playoff game at the Garden. You're demoting people to the blue seats if they're lucky. It's all suits in the lower bowl. No noise. It's not the same. I really genuinely don't think that's a coincidence. Maybe they did that intentionally to keep some of the crazy people out, but I think you saw the result of that today.
Can I just throw another hypothesis
there was some pretty
out there?
Brusque, rough and tumble things being said at 6 a.m. Go ahead.
Maybe, New York fans just aren't as good as Midwest golf fans.
Now you're just antagonizing people.
We don't have an event, so that's probably why.
We don't either.
Oh, you have Minnesota. You have Detroit. You have 3 things in Ohio.
Maybe they're just excited because the best players in the world, come there, once every 8 years with the Ryder Cup.
The highlight of the morning with the crowd was Bryson. He did this little subtle turn. Like he was like the Rock in the ring, like could put his chin out, and people went nuts. It was like a total pop. He didn't have to say like raise his hand or ask for a noise. He just turned to the crowd and put his chin in the air, and the people went nuts. And that was the highlight. It wasn't anything else. They had choppers and chants and music. Kesha was playing. I don't know. It wasn't that. It was kind of tame, the first tee. I think it got a little nastier later in the day.
It seemed like that Rory match was very
the late one.
Yeah, the birds might have been pulled out. I think they probably were stretching their fingers. But that's an important thing to do when you're playing golf.
There was definitely some commentary about significant others this morning that I heard. Not like all of them, all of the Europeans. I was like, oh my God, it just get something better. But yeah, it was as loud. I think it seems like crowd control or crowd egress wasn't ingress and egress wasn't the best. So that was between like a lot of just mass people walking from the train station and long lines to get in, which I think could have been foreseen. I think that was just not just a Trump thing. The security measure.
The walk-in gate had 2 metal detectors for an unnumbered thousand of people who ended up having to walk in because all of the shuttles didn't work. So
those people were walking in
like through neighborhoods. Like you had apparently people were like trying to go to school and drive to work, and you have like just a procession, like a parade of thousands of people just going down the middle of these like quiet suburban streets to get to Bethpage, walking for like an hour plus to get in. Trump visited. That was like an added element. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculously amusing. He walks out with Bryson, gives him a pat on. Like, I felt bad for Ben Griffin.
I like that he was wearing golf shoes, personally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did too. This first tee shot ever for Ben Griffin. He's with Bryson, and now the Trump. Think about it. He's got to be shitting a brick to begin with, and then you add the Trump meeting this guy. He probably doesn't know who Ben Griffin is before that second. And that's your first tee shot ever in a Ryder Cup. For me, it just reinforced how massive this whole thing has become. Like, so much of the build up to this and so much of today was just not about golf, not about the matches, not about the golf shots. It was about, we're going to have a Rayos, and we're going to have the biggest crowd ever, the biggest build out ever. And the Trump stuff, I thought legitimately was kind of cool that we had like Air Force One flying in. I thought we had flyovers this morning. Flyovers again. I was wondering if we get flyovers for all 5 sessions.
Did you notice there were more planes in the second
There were
flyover?
4. Yeah, I thought it was legitimately cool that this all was happening. I just was like, there's so much around this thing that just is not about the actual golf. And but yeah, that was a. It made security a little longer just in a specific area, but it added to the circus for sure. You have anything else about the crowd, golf course? We good?
I think we're good. I'm waiting for these. I'm hoping we can just filibuster
No,
for these picks.
I don't have much more. You want to do match rundown hole by hole? Is that what you want to do?
Let's go blow by blow.
Shot by shot?
What? Oh yeah, we have storylines.
What's
right?
the first tee storyline? What is it? What do we got for that? Underwhelmed?
There was a president making an arrival on the first tee this morning. That
And
was
this
not
afternoon?
Donald Trump.
It was the Don, not a Don, but the real Don. Don Ray.
Don Rea.
Don Rea, sorry. I think he's been muzzled. I know he got the first ad break, it sounds like, at 7:05 or something this morning. He was, hey, hello. I need to tell you about all our initiatives.
Well,
but he's been muzzled.
He was quick to get in the camera once Trump arrived. He was right there.
Oh, he was just grinning like a ear to ear, happy as a clam, just staring at Donald Trump. What else?
You know what? There was a sign hanging. It was a European sign, and it said, "In Donald we trust."
Yeah,
and it's
18.
like, is it Donald Rea?
I mean, given that it was blue and yellow.
Is it Donald
assume
Trump
it was
or is it Luke Donald?
I think in Rea's head, it's him.
How about the fact, like, has there ever been a major sporting event where 3 Donalds were like 3 people with the name Donald were formative figures in the event?
That just can't be what in 2025. Are babies being born being called Donald anymore? I feel like that's of a time and place.
Yeah, that's what
like
I'm saying.
Richard, that kind of thing. Donald's past. Yeah, Rhea was all fired up. I thought there was like a good European presence in crowd. I thought they were there.
The Guardians, right?
No.
What is the European
I forget.
people called?
The Guardians
the
of
keepers, or are they the keepers? They get the great seats.
The keepers of the cup. The Guardians of the Cup are the U.S. ones who wear the Vikings. And I heard they had prepared a song that had something probably pretty inappropriate about another player. And it was like
they got muzzled.
Well, I think they self-muzzle. It's like, you little jamokes. You guys get VIP treatment. They get to come to all these events. They get first row seats. As soon as you do something inappropriate, like, all right, you want to mess with the Bulls and get the horns. I think they would lose their access if they did that.
While we filibuster, do you want some Donald stats? Donald peaked as a name in 1934. It's currently number 916 in 2025, but that's up 110 spots from last year. You know why? People saw a Donald.
Don Ray.
I think it's become
That probably
become a divisive issue, I would imagine. Anything else from your walk around this morning?
I got a bunch of stuff.
You want to save it? Save the big bullets for Sunday night.
I had a question. PJ, you're in talking like God here because you're not on screen. But I saw Bjorn was out with Rory this morning, and I was wondering, he's spending a lot of time with him. Do you think he was talking about the virtues of the Champs Tour?
I hope so. I mean, he's playing well this year. He won 3 weeks ago. Where else can you get a trophy of a bull fighting a bear in the middle of St. Louis? That's a Midwest golf event. Do you claim St. Louis?
No, St. Louis is its own region and its own bubble. I think that's been a long subject.
I don't think
it's like Pittsburgh. We're not going to get into that.
I don't think anybody wants to
Oh,
claim
to be
St.
clear,
Louis.
I don't think Pittsburgh is in Ohio.
Yeah, no.
I just want to say that sentence.
I don't think anybody wants to claim St. Louis.
One of my notes from this morning is Keegan too distracted fathering to captain? The kids were running around, tugging at his pants. That's a joke. I'm being facetious, but I thought it was cool that he got to be out there with his own dad and his own kids. But they did like F around and find out this morning. And like, you just you can't screw around. And I felt like they did with some of that lineup and some of those decisions. And here we are. They're down
I thought it was cool to see the greatest basketball player of all time as a Chicagoan. And then Tony Kukoc and Michael Jordan shared an embrace, and all I
Really?
could only think about was those two teammates that never lost a NBA Finals series.
Oh, congrats to them on that, playing against, YMCA regulars, in the late 90s, right?
I mean, Karl Malone,
I'm kidding.
Magic Johnson.
Hornacek, yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Hornacek's not
was he any good?
Kukoc wasn't playing against Magic Johnson. That's not true.
Was Isaiah Thomas good?
Kukoc wasn't playing against Isaiah Thomas.
I know. He wasn't playing against
I saw CC Sabathia up close and
Barkley
personal
was pretty good.
a
Sean
few
Kemp.
times. Yeah, that's
the
fair.
glove.
That's fair. I'm not worried about the stars on their side. It's like filling out the team. If you're making the finals, hopefully you probably have a star. CC, saw him a couple times. You see anyone interesting, PJ? Any celebs? It's a total circus out there.
I saw two chefs battling it out, Bobby Flay and Jose Andres.
Yep.
That was
Were they legitimately battling?
Of my beat Bobby Flay. Has Jose Andres ever been on that? I mean, we got the golf version yesterday, but maybe we could get the food version. We're really just filibustering.
I know. Listen, I think it's time to call it
Yep.
when we've gotten to this point.
It's going to be within the next 10 minutes.
I know. That's
part.
the thing.
The lineups for tomorrow?
Rahm and Tyrrell are going to go first. Rory and Fleetwood are going to go,
third. He like to go in third. Rahm Hatton out first. Rory Fleetwood third. I would think you just go the same today. Aberg and Fitz second, and then who is the fourth match against Cantlay and Xander? McIntyre Hovland was the fourth match. They both sat this afternoon.
Do you think they'll go the same guys?
I think so.
Hovland was not very good, I feel like.
I don't think they are going to change a thing. I think what the U.S. has to do is change up, especially on alt shot. I think that's where you have to go. Now, it's this delicate balance of you don't want to be Zach just like blindfolded throwing darts at the wall, but it's time to make a change on the foursomes, on the way we did alt shot today.
Bruntley put this together.
They played well this afternoon.
Through Data Golf.
Yeah.
So, best 5 players were Fitz per the analytics, which I would say the eye test kind of matched up with some of these two. Fitz, Fleetwood, and Rory were the top 3 players. Who was number 4? It's the first USA player. And this is aggregate, so it's combined from 2 rounds.
It's a good question. Spawn? No. JT?
Cam Young.
Cam Young.
In 1 round.
They blew
amassed 3.5 shots.
Can't play a rookie.
Bryson was the next best player, and he went 0-2. And then Rahm was the 6th best player. And then the bottom 5. Who do you think was the worst player of the
aggregate
day, of the day?
All the way in. JT saved his bacon in the afternoon because I know his stats were awful in the morning. Henley had to be in there.
Henley was not on a list. He's not.
Rasmus, would he be in there?
Sam Burns was the worst. Ben Griffin was the 2nd worst. Harris English was the 3rd worst. And then it was Shane Lowry and Rasmus.
So you have the guys.
Honestly, I think I would bench Lowry if I was Luke Donald.
All day tomorrow.
Pretty bad. He just did not have it.
Didn't hit a fairway.
Well, I mean, even when he hit the fairway, it was like a neck poof ball.
He didn't play well. Did not play well. But the problem, obviously, is the guys that I don't know if you're expecting Ben Griffin to play well. To be honest with you, Harris English hasn't been playing his best. These guys, what the problem again is that Rahm, Fleetwood, Rory to slightly lesser extent, did what they're supposed to do, and Scotty, Bryson did not get across the line, and that's the difference. That's where you have to win. So
yeah.
All right, I think that does
What's your prediction for tomorrow?
We can do a draft update. I have a draft update.
All right, what's the draft
all right.
update?
Well, we'll keep going here.
I was going to say, you want the draft update. You're in the lead with 6.5.
Well, my players are undefeated.
Well, you played each other once, so you have a
Have
loss
to have a
on
loss.
there.
Yep.
But
Who
also
lost?
won that. You also won that match.
Who lost?
Hold on, I'll pull it up. I just have the scores up. You have 6.5 points. Brendan has 5 points. So hot
There
on
we
your
go.
trail. KVV at 2.5, and Joseph I
The boys?
have 2.
The boys
That
didn't
Henley
do,
fight,
go,
that
go
was
well,
not good.
huh?
Not a good situation. Played so bad he couldn't play it.
JJ Spawn lost for you.
Oh, yeah.
He did. So
We'll take it easy.
But
on
you
him.
got
I
the-
forgot I had him.
the Rom duo of Hatton and Straka stacking Rom. That's a veteran fantasy move. You got Jamar, Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins all. On
I
the
mean,
same team.
Tank might be my keeper, to be completely honest.
Is there any chance the New York crowd turns on the USA if it's like just not happening? It's like clear
If they're
they're
getting
not.
smoked on Sunday, yeah, I
It
think
felt
so,
like we were
absolutely.
going that direction this morning. Aside from Bryson, people were just like, Russ Henley's it sucks. Harrison Morikawa are uncompetitive. It felt like it was starting to get bad this morning. Is there a way we get there tomorrow? You think you could see that if like another bad foursome session in the afternoon just gets restless?
I think so. I think I also heard that the crowd got a little rowdier for the afternoon due to some maybe lubrication.
Yeah,
Bars
sure,
didn't
of
open
course.
until 9 a.m.
9.
So
Yeah.
first tee was kind of slow, maybe because of that.
I would say the one thing that would say I don't think it's going to turn is that, I don't think that, we should have made another graphic. Rory and Lowry might not have stuck to the script, and the charm offensive was turned off in the last.
Charm offensive turned into birdwatch. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think that I think they were doing something else, but
Just stretching their fingers.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think they might have ruined the charm offensive.
Breaking news, Joseph Lamagna, after 6:30 p.m. local time, a range session has just started. Bryson DeChambeau out there in the gloaming, hitting balls into the sunset. Apparently he was hitting balls, rainy day yesterday, he was hitting balls till after 5, until the volunteers came out like, we're closing the range. This is shutting down. And that was when he got kicked off. He hit like 600 some balls, like 200, 300 more. Just played 2 sessions. He was there at 5 in the morning. He was first off. I get he's like among the most fit there in the entire competition, but at some point, take a rest.
Maybe he should just maybe he should be hanging in the team room.
It just wrapped up. They had to kick him off the range last night. Now he's hitting balls after a 36-hole day or 2-match day. All right, I think that does it. Any other odds and ends you want to throw out there before we go?
Those matches haven't come out, have they? Have they, PJ? No, I'm trying to hit refresh here. All right,
Pray for the hospitality tents tomorrow. Hopefully they get some action. Just say a prayer for those people. We'll be back with you on Saturday after play wraps up again. Another live show. Forget Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State. Come watch Shotgun Start live after a full Saturday.
Illinois, USC in the morning.
Is that the team that lost by 53 points last week?
It's a ranked matchup in Champaign. Big noons in town. So
You got a Duke scouting report for me?
I get the quarterback's
God,
good.
we are Duke football scouting report. We are not. We are really
just saying.
filibustering.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch the Duke Illinois game.
Well, you won by like 30. So, oh well.
I can't remember. I was doing something else.
It is amazing to see them rally around Bryson a little bit. When he was just a total like boys club outcast, total like leper, and now it's like you better get in line because he's your best player.
Well,
Or among them.
there's still time for them to turn against him.
boys
also.
club him up?
Yeah, there's still time for that storyline to reverse.
All right, everybody enjoy your Friday nights, your Saturdays watching more Ryder Cup, maybe the best event in golf. We will talk to you, recap it Saturday night.